Hi everyone, how good? How good the first two talks, right? Yeah, and I'm about to make it a little weird. Yeah, this is a picture of my gut. Now, I know what you're thinking. Damn girl, that is a nice looking intestine. Why, thank you. I asked the doctor to get my good side. Now, there's probably a subset of you that are feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now. Probably that one on that side. Yes, it is a sphincter. No, not the one you're thinking of. I actually accidentally returned a book to the library with the original copy of these photos in it. Let me tell you, you have not known shame until you have had to retrieve pictures of your sphincter from a sweet elderly librarian. Forgive me, Carol. So why am I showing you these pictures? Well, it's not specifically to gross you out or anything. That may be a byproduct. But it's because I think the gut is unfairly maligned. You know, people don't like to think about the gut. They don't like looking at the gut. I mean, look at it. It's like my gastroenterologist went spelunking in that river tunnel from the original Willy Wonka. Yeah. Gene Wilder's about to come out and traumatize kids in a whole new way. But I hate to break it to you, if you've got a body, and everyone here does, then you have a gut. He has a gut. She definitely has a gut. And yes, even sweet elderly librarians have guts. But I get it. Guts are not for everyone. So for the rest of this talk, the gut will be represented by this cute little intestinal cartoon. Isn't it sweet? Now, hi, I'm Rosie. I'm from Flinders University and I look at a lot of guts. And I'm here tonight to tell you that the gut is pretty amazing. Yeah. Do you like having energy? Yeah? It's pretty good. The gut converts all your food into energy. Do you like not getting sick? Also good, yes. Bit of boo-boos in the room. The gut helps protect you from infections. Do you like having good mental health? Yeah. The gut can help you with that as well. Do you like inflating your stomach to scare off predators? Alas, I confess, that's a pufferfish. But would be pretty cool, right? You know, like I've thought humans, women especially, could benefit from having a really solid defense mechanism. Some guys kind of creeping on you in the bar and you're like, yeah. But alas, all we got is pepper spray and our gut feelings. Yeah, sad, right? I know. Now, gut feelings. We all probably know what a gut feeling is. It's that feeling you get when something's not quite right, but you don't really know what it is. Again, maybe some guy's kind of creeping on you in the bar. You're not really sure what's wrong with him, so your brain just tenses you up, makes you feel a bit sick, and then he tells you he works in finance. So that's an example of how your thoughts can affect how you physically feel, right? But actually, as a researcher, I'm interested in the reverse. How can what we put in our mouths affect how we think, how we feel emotionally, and even how we behave? Now, this may or may not be a weird idea to some of you. After all, the gut and the brain are a fair distance apart. But there's actually a system inside of us that connects the two. You've probably heard of it. It's the nervous system. And this is good. We love the nervous system. It's how the gut can do all those great things I mentioned earlier. But it also means that the way we think about food has to change a little bit. Because if there's a way for the gut and the brain to talk, it means there's a way for the food we eat to influence our brain. Now, how does this work? Well, there's a few players in the system. I've mentioned a couple already. the first up is the brain. Now, we all love our evolved human brains, right? We've got a bit of language, that's pretty handy. A bit of abstract thought, we need that. A bit of waking up at 3 a.m. because we forgot to put the bins out. Not as fun, that one, I don't know why that evolved. The brain is pretty good, right? But it can't do it by itself. So, a quick anatomy lesson. We have the nervous system, and it's broadly divided into two parts. So we have the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord, and then everything else kind of comes under this umbrella of the peripheral nervous system. Now, don't let the flying sweaty monster appearance fool you. It's pretty important. Each of these little noodles is a nerve cell or a neuron, and they're pretty handy. They actually, the job of the peripheral and these neurons is to collect information, sensory information, from all over our bodies and then relay it back to the brain. So sometimes we're aware, the brain makes us aware of what the peripheral senses, like we pet a cat, it's very fluffy, I was going to say it tastes nice. It feels nice on our fingers, yes, that's right. Sometimes it doesn't make us aware, so when we breathe, most of the time when we breathe, we're not aware that we're breathing, right? And sometimes we have no choice, like when we discovered Lego. And indeed, the peripheral is also what conveys information from the gut to the brain. In fact, you actually have more neurons in your gut than a cat does in its entire brain, which is kind of crazy, right? That's like a whole nother brain in your gut. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. A cat and a gut are kind of similar. They'll be your best friend, but only if you feed them every 30 minutes. And the gut, aside from all the great things that I mentioned earlier, is also generally a sensory organ itself. So like your eyes or like your tongue. In fact, the things that we have in our tongue that we use to taste, they also exist in our intestines, which is a fun thought. The good news is that we obviously don't taste what's in our intestines, because that's, let's not go there. The bad news is that we actually do. We're just not conscious of it. And this means that the gut can, and you better believe it will snitch on you if you eat something you probably shouldn't be eating. So take sugar, for example. Now, we all love a sugar hit, it's great. In fact, when we eat sugar, the gut and the peripheral nervous system send signals directly into reward centers in our brain. And this means that over time, it can change the way that our brain creates feel-good chemicals, like dopamine, for example. But the problem is, I think I can say that. The problem is that we want to get a dopamine hit afterwards, but the way that the brain creates it has changed and it becomes desensitized. And this can lead to things like anxiety and depression, which is obviously a bit of a bummer. Now, this is not to say that you cannot eat anything fun ever, because that is boring, and I'm not about that life. Let's not go there. Because the final great thing about the gut that I'm going to tell you is that it's pretty adaptive. So the gut lining, which is where we sense all the food, actually renews every 5 days, which is good news for the junk food junkies. You can put that in your calendar. But it is worth keeping an eye on what we're eating over time, Because there's a lot of things in life we can't control. We can't control the weather, we can't control other people, we can't control being forced to see pictures of people's sphincters. Sorry, hang on. But if there's a way for us to improve what's going on up in our heads, emotionally, in our thoughts and feelings, then I think it's worth getting up on stage and showing a bunch of strangers your guts. Don't worry, I will not be showing you anymore. Thank you.